Hey everybody. What we have here is a 250 millimeter long by 68 millimeter tall Mizu-honyaki extra heavy Gyuto. This is such a neat knife. I've actually cut with it already. I cut with it before I started polishing, and it definitely meets my standards for performance. No question about it. It's a cutter. It's again, as I said, it's Mizu-honyaki, so it's brine quenched, not oil quenched. You can see the hamon in there. And realize this thing is 5.5, 6 millimeters thick. You can see it there. Super pleased with it. Absolutely. So that pause there was for the Instagram people. I make one video and upload it to both. But I also wanted to touch base on pricing. There's been some discussion about my pricing lately, and I wanted to clarify some things. Like, for example, this knife is Mizu-honyaki, okay? That means it's brine quenched. That is ridiculously hard on a knife. It warps. They warp. You got to straighten them. They crack. There's some cracks here. That was this blade. This is the second iteration of this blade. It's hard on a blade. I've got to charge for that labor. I have to, and I build it in at the front. If it takes 5 knives, whatever. But I have to say, okay, there's a huge chance that this is going to crack, and I have to, and I know I'm going to spend a day, 2 days straightening it. So there's a charge for that I have to build into the knife. Mammoth tooth is another example. It's the handle for this knife. It's going to be beautiful. Copper G10 mammoth tooth and a gorgeous piece of rosewood. But my price for mammoth tooth is what it is. Some makers charge less than I do. Some makers charge more, from what I understand. My price is based on my cost and my labor and how long it takes me and what I have to do in order to get that mammoth tooth in my handle. My construction methods in my shop with my tools. And I put the fairest price I can on that, and then I give you the option as the customer to buy it or not. And if you don't, then you don't, and that's great. We'll do another handle. If you do, then you do, and that is what it is. It's something that there's no instruction manual for us makers. Hey, you price this at this, you price this at that. We're not mechanics. We don't have a book to go off of. We have to figure out a pricing structure that's fair to us and to our customers, and we all do it different. Some makers charge half what I charge for similar materials. Now, I'm not going to go into any details on, or any judgment. I don't know what their quality is. You know what I mean? But the materials themselves, maybe they don't charge as much. Maybe they charge more. That's how they do it versus how I do it. And it is what it is. It's not like I'm coming in at the back end and saying, oh, this costs this much and da-da-da-da. I mean, I had a customer, I making a knife for them, and I forgot to put in the money for the extra tall and the thickness of the blade. And I didn't charge him for it. I let him know what the charge should have been and that I misquoted, but I'm charging him for the original quoted amount. It's like $400 less. It is what it is. That was on me, not him. Why should he have to rebudget? He shouldn't. And that's just how I do things. The other thing is the amount of time that I spend dealing with customers. This should be a 2-hour process to get this to 400 grit. It's taken me almost 6. I've answered a number of emails. I have running chats with customers on Messenger and WhatsApp. And I don't charge for that time. Every customer gets that level of attention, but I don't charge you for it. If I did, your knives would be thousands and thousands of dollars. And, but I still have to figure that in to some degree. You know what I mean? Again, 6 hours today on this blade, and I should have been done hours ago. I can't charge for that number, but I do know that I need a certain amount per shop hour to keep my business running. And that's where that comes from. So if you have any questions, let me know. We'll go into some detail. I'm more than happy to answer questions about my pricing. And